everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are interviewing Miss Raja. I'm going to call you Miss Raja
Yeah.
from Malaysia, and she can introduce herself. Can you go and introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Rajaletchumy Subramaniam. You may call me Raja or Raji. Currently, I'm working as a early interventionist in a special education center, and also I'm working with the special needs in various places, even in online classes. Yeah, so I have been work with special needs with various special and different learning disabilities.
Okay. So I have put in a bunch of questions, and we will try to go through these questions and answer them to the best of our abilities. Okay. First, I want to start for advice for parents. What should parents expect when starting early intervention, and how can they prepare?
Okay, parents can expect an assessment to understand their child's specific developmental needs, followed by a personalized intervention plan. Preparation involves gathering any relevant medical or developmental records, and also noting concerns and being ready to discuss goals for their child. So, for example, a parent might bring in their child in bringing the child medical history, including any speaking, delays, yeah, any speaking delays they have noticed, to share, to share with the SD speech therapist, so that this help the team to create more tailored plan. Additionally, if the child already has an individual educational program or plan IEP, parents should bring a copy of it to ensure the assessment is aligned with any existing educational support accommodations. This helps provide a comprehensive view of the child's need and ensures that the intervention plan can be coordinated with any school-based services.
Yeah, okay. Also, another thing, they need to also prepare the child a little bit mentally. You know, you're going to go to this place, you're going to play, you're going to have fun, so that when the child comes, he knows he's going to go someplace. You shouldn't say, oh, you're going to go to the doctor. Don't say you're going to the doctor. Say you're going to go to a new play group or something like that. So they understand that it's going to be a place that, they're not only going to get therapies, they're going to have fun. I think that's also
Yeah,
very important.
yeah, definitely will help the child to cope up well.
Yeah. Okay. How can parents effectively advocate for early intervention services for their child?
Advocating of early intervention services means understanding your child's right and taking proactive steps to secure the support they need. So this is basically like the parents can effectively educate their child to understand your child's right in early intervention service. So if you look at US, they have idea. So if you look at Malaysia, they have different organization to support. So you will need to know like which organization really can support your child, and also stay informed, like research local early intervention programs, service providers, and eligibility as well. So knowing what to expect helps like parents feel confident when advocating for their child. So they also need to learn about typical development milestones so that you can spot any delays early. So this is important, and also communicate clearly with professionals. This is really an important part where you can notice developmental concern. Don't wait, for a diagnosis, but request a formal evaluation. Be clear and specific about what you have observed and follow up regularly to ensure your child receives the necessary assessment and service. And you also may join support groups and also document your child's development and also know how to appeal the decision. Let's say if the service are denied or delayed, and you will need to understand how to appeal the decision. Like parent can request re-evaluation or seek legal advice if necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Parents really need to advocate for their child. Like if they can't get into government services, they need to go to for private. You need to think about the child first. You know what is important for the
Mm,
child. So if a child has a delay and you're not getting access to government care, you need to try to find something in the private sector because if you wait, say, a year for your child to develop speech, or you wait a year for your child to develop motor skills and stuff like that, they're going to regress further. So, okay, you can't get into government this year. Maybe you can get into it next year. But in the meantime, you need to make sure that your child gets services that they need so they won't be regressing further.
yeah, that's the important part. Like you can find somewhere, even it's a private sector, what kind of service they can provide you according to your
With
child's need.
Right, exactly.
Mm.
Um, what advice would you give to a parent who feels overwhelmed by the diagnosis or intervention process?
I would say it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed after receiving a diagnosis or when navigating the intervention process. Because the amount of information, the emotion involved, and the step to take can feel a lot to handle at all at once, like as a parent. So as a parent, I would say maybe they can take it one step at a time, like instead of trying to tackle everything at once, focus on one step or goal at a time. Like the process may feel long, but breaking it down into smaller tasks can make it more manageable. And also seek support, that's for sure. Like you reach out the family, friends, or parents groups for emotion support and also the guidance. Talking with others who have gone through similar experience, can be comforting and provide helpful perspectives. And also ask for help. Don't hesitate to ask professionals like us for guidance. Therapists or doctors and any specialists can help break down the intervention process and provide a clear next steps, so that you don't don't have to navigate it alone. And also educate yourself at your own space. Like you don't have to learn everything at once. Like as a parent, I need to learn this, I need to learn that. Don't take it all at the one at once. Take the time you need to understand the diagnosis and available therapies. You can pace your learning and gradually build up your knowledge as you go. Like you also learn from the therapist, like what I need to do at home, how I can help my child, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I've noticed about some parents is they are in denial about the diagnosis. You need to face it, that especially if they've gone and they've gotten multiple gone to see multiple therapists and have gotten the same diagnosis. I remember we had one parent that had gone to 8 different places and got exactly the same diagnosis, but still was in denial, except what the doctors and the therapists are telling you, about the a diagnosis of your child. And also, educate yourself. Like you said, educate yourself, find out about this diagnosis. What does it mean? What does it mean long term? Is it severe? Is it mild? Is it moderate? So educate yourself about this diagnosis, but don't deny your child the therapy because you don't want to accept the diagnosis. What will happen in that case is that your child will regress, and his symptoms or her symptoms will become worse and worse and worse. So don't deny your child access to therapies because you yourself are in denial.
Yeah, that's really true when it's come to parents. Some parents like emotionally not there to accept it. And some are like maybe this is not something my child going through, and even after certain diagnosis they not willing to accept it. But end of the day, it's for your child's well-being, and as soon you start the early intervention, I believe it will be more helpful compared to the denial like happening all over the years. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
exactly. Exactly. Mm. Um, what are some ways parents can support their child's developmental progress outside of the therapy sessions?
So for me, I would say parents play a crucial role in reinforcing and extending therapy strategies at home. So by integrating therapeutic activities in daily routines, something like parents can support their child's progress in a natural and consistent way, like incorporate therapy goals into daily activities, like use everyday situation like meal time, bath time, or play time to practice skills. For example, you can encourage communication by prompting your child to request item. So let's say your child want to eat, I want to eat spaghetti. So let your child say some word before you give them. Yeah, so that is and also practice motor skill by having them, with simple tasks around the house, and also
Yeah,
be consistent. So the repetition is important. Repetition is the key. Like incorporate strategies into your child's daily routine to create familiarity in reinforced learning. So if it's not consistent, it's very hard for them, to practice that. But if you're consistent, and the consistency across the environments, home, school, and therapy, it really strengthens new skills. Yeah. And also use positive reinforcement. Please don't use negative reinforcement. Even it's a small win, okay? You try to celebrate it, like, provide praise or reward when your child makes a progress, or you try to, boost motivation and encourages your child to continue practicing. Yeah, even it's just a small thing. Wipe table after meal time. So just praise and give some positive, like good job, well done. I believe that
yeah,
I'm happy that you tried today, that kind of words. And also adapt therapy strategies for home use, like talk to your child's therapy, like OT, ST, or even with the interventionist about how you can adapt specific strategies to use at home. Like
yeah,
if the child is working on speech, the therapist may recommend like some specific games or activities to reinforce the language, or some motor skills that can be reinforced at home. And also I believe these kind of things can develop outside of therapy.
mm, yeah. And also take the advice of the therapist. Don't ignore what the therapist is asking you to do at home.
Yeah.
Especially if a child, say, for example, they're going for occupational therapy or behavior therapy twice a week. Follow up with what the therapist, what instructions they had given you that will help your child, the home plan. Don't just depend on the therapist only, and you think that they're the one that is going to fix your child. First of all, no one's going to fix anybody's child because there's nothing wrong with your child, but they need therapies to improve their quality of life. So
Mm.
we have actually got this question before here. How long is it going to take you to fix my child? And this is one thing that I can say to the parents: your child is not broken. Your child needs therapy. He has a, say, for example, neurodevelopmental disorder. So we have to do therapies to help him to proceed. So if we're seeing a child, say 2 sessions or 3 sessions a week, the parents are with that child all the other times, but they need to follow through on instructions that the therapist has given them to do at home. Not just look at the book that we've given and say, you need to do this and this and this. Okay, we'll think about it tomorrow. You actually need to follow through on the things that the special education teacher or the therapist has given you to uh, do at home, the home skills. These are very important that you follow through on what they have asked you to do with your child. This is to help your child to grow, to help your child to develop further.
Yeah, that's really true. And even some parents, if they are, following the timeline or fixing the timeline for their child, like within 6 months, can he learn this? Within 6 months, can she walk? Can she talk? Can she write? All these stuff. So basically, first thing is you don't rush your child, because the
Yeah.
progress always take time, and the intervention is like is a practice. It's a practice from both sides. It's not only the teacher or the therapist or the
Hmm.
parents itself, but it's the collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. This is a very good question. How can parents set up a home environment that encourages positive behavior?
Okay, for this, I would say a structured and sensory friendly home environment can have a significant impact on a child's behavior. Okay, particularly for children with developmental delays or sensory issues. Okay, this is basically what you do at home is establish clear routines at home, like predictable routines to help children feel safe and secure, and knowing what to expect throughout the day. And this is basically reduce their anxiety, and also can help them with the transitions. And next one is to create a sensory friendly space. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also to have a visual supports even at home. It doesn't matter. You can have a visual supports even at home that help the child to
Yes.
express
Good
and
schedule.
say what
Yeah.
they want. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also to provide the choices. It's okay if your child, if you give two picture at the time, ask your child to choose what they really want, and it will be helpful the other way around, to encourage them to be, to enhance the positive behavior, and also to ensure a calm and organized space. So if the school is organized and the space is more secure, why not we can try to create a corner or place for child even at home, and we practice that will be helpful for them to feel like whatever routine I did at the school, I can do it at home as well, and it's okay to practice here as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with like especially visual schedules. That helps, and always giving positive feedback. Avoid like severe punishments, because that's going to make your child go back, such as hitting, smacking, pinching, yelling. You want to create a calm space for
Mm.
children, especially children when you're talking about children with autism, because children with autism learn more on modeling what they see. So if you start smacking your child, that's teaching them to smack other kids. So you want to use the most positive discipline at home that is possible. And like you said, give them praise when they do something well.
Yeah, I also believe it's for parents, like they will need to like really understand. It's important to remember that small everyday effect, the efforts, and can make a big difference actually. Like even it's a
Yes.
small routine practice at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, what daily routines or activities are helpful in building communication or motor skills?
I would say circle time, and also for for communication skill, group activities or storytelling. Like you have a kind of activities that they engage with the other
Yeah.
peers. And also, yeah, you can ask the WH questions like after the storytelling or in between the storytelling. You can ask them to show you where's the cat, and if they're pointing, that means they are already engaging with you. Then you can ask the next friend, can you name what's the cat's name? Yeah, can you tell me
Mhm.
what's the name? Or and the next person. So it will be like when they have the peers around, they are like, okay, my friend can say really, I also can try. They have that kind of positive attitude naturally. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really can
Another,
support them. Mm.
yeah. One thing that I also find helpful, especially children, that they can speak a little, but they don't know how to communicate properly. Like if you say, for example, "Hi, how are you?" They might answer, "How are you?" back. So
Yeah,
yeah, so when they do that, it's a good idea to correct them and tell them, say, no, I said, "How are you?" You're supposed to tell me, "Fine, thank you." And after so many times, they start to understand. So when I have a kid that, that they are just not sure how to answer, I tell them the answer, how they're supposed to respond, and ask them to respond back. And I have found with that technique, it helps a lot of kids. It really helps them to learn how to respond back to questions.
yeah. By correcting them few times, it will be helpful because after certain days or certain months or after the practice, they might remember. Even they can't copy the whole sentence, they might come up with 1 2 words first. Yeah,
Right.
that will be helpful for them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, Okay. How can parents focus on their child's strengths as well as areas for development?
Okay, for this, I would say if the child is good at coloring, or good at fixing the puzzle, certain activities that you have noticed that your child capable of doing or very good at it, you can enhance that with other activities, or merge that with the other activities, like you do number with me, then we play together, we play the
Mm.
puzzles together, that kind of activity, or turn taking stuff, so that the child feel like, okay, I will be doing this, then I will be playing the activity that I like.
Right.
So that will be, yeah, that will probably gain their interest, and yeah, and of course will support them to for the positive reinforcement, compared to like, every time you force the child or
Mhm.
give more works just like they don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. But if they enjoy scribbling, you can start teaching them to color in a big circle, and then a smaller circle and a smaller circle. And this actually helps their fine motor skills, developmental skills. And we've had some parents that say, coloring is a useless activity. Why are you always making them color? But it's not useless. It develops fine motor skills. And so it's a very useful activity, not useless. So,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have experienced that with some parents where they they look at it as their child is only playing. They're not really doing something. But this is very structured play, you can say, where they're not playing, they're not only playing, but they are developing skills. They're developing motor skills. They're developing, their developmental milestones and things like that. So they're not useful. It's very structured because, okay, we want to target motor skills. What are we going to do? We're going to maybe use coloring, use puzzles, using things that they have to pick up with those plastic tweezers, sorting activities. So these things will build up their fine motor skills. So parents need to know that these are not useless activities, that these are very useful activities. And it's a way that we build up other children's development.
Yeah, it's so true when you say that, because some activities are interconnected. Like you said just now, the coloring is related to fine motor. Same thing goes when you let the child play, a structured play. The child is developing social skill, social communication skill, like
Mhm.
how to practice a turn taking, how to share and exchange the toys. All these things like indirectly they learning, and it cannot be useless. Yeah, it's always
Yeah,
useful.
it's always useful. Okay. Okay. What tips do you have for staying motivated and patient for parents during the early intervention process?
The first thing is like, of course, as a teacher, as a special needs educator, you will need to understand the child's perspective and also the parents' perspective, and of course their emotion. We understand sometimes their questions, like, of course we understand they want the child to progress. They wanted, the child to keep moving and, reach the mainstream or other schools. But the thing is, as we are working, we also need the time to work and to develop your child's milestones. There are certain areas really need longer time, or certain areas need shorter time. I mean, it could be long-term goals or short-term goals that you plan for your child. And for that, I understand some parents, like, they may concern about the child's next progress and what will happen next, all this. But pay, to understand both of their perspective, and to understand your responsibility, the passion come itself. And you can work along with, patient. And you every day you try different things, and you really can handle the parents with some kind words, and can explain them better, rather than, having conflicts all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Some parents are really, I would say, over worried, you know. Sometimes their child just has just some very small issues, very mild issues. Um, they think they're like, to the parent, they seem so big, especially when they have other children to compare it to. I always try to get the parents to relax and say, look, she's okay. For example, he's 2 years old and he's not that far behind. He's only, say, three
Mm,
months or 4 months behind. And you brought him early enough, and we can work with him and we can get him up to speed. When you're talking about more severe kids, it's harder to give that parents a reassurance, but we have to find our words to reassure them, to relax them, to make them feel, better, to make them feel that there is hope, and at the same time not give them false hope.
mm. So,
Yeah, yeah. Um, how do you suggest parents track and celebrate small progresses to help their children stay encouraged and also the parents stay encouraged?
Okay, this is basically like let's say your child, like I said earlier, are you have been practicing to your child buttoning his own shirt, or or own try to wear his own socks or shoes. So when this kind of like daily living skill that you practice at home, even it's a small achievement, like your child just button first two, and it's something that you can celebrate. You can't use the word like, "Hey, you just button two. Mommy asked you to button four. Mommy asked you to button all the buttons. Why only two?" Like that, right? The other way around, you may say, "Is I've been seeing you practicing all these days, and I'm happy that you have but try and button at least two, or button two today. I'm very happy about it." Or you, as a encourage, or as a way
Or
you encourage their behavior, you may give them something like any favorite toy, or anything that they can play, puzzle, or anything that can help them to feel like I can try better next time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, we need to look, try to use more encouraging words, even if they didn't complete the task. We want to encourage them so the next day they'll go further. Like you gave the example
Mm,
of the buckets. We shouldn't say, "Why did you only do two when I asked you to do a four?" We should say, "Good
yeah,
job, you did two. Hopefully tomorrow you can try to do one more," or something like that, because
yeah.
if the child feels discouraged, he won't want to try to go to the next step.
Yeah, that's important. Yes.
Okay. Okay, now I want to move on into the importance of early intervention. Why is early intervention so critical for children with developmental delays or disabilities?
Early intervention is crucial because it takes advantages of the brain, during a critical developmental window. So the brain is especially adaptable in the early years. So for that, providing targeted support during this time can significantly improve a child's ability to develop essential skills. So when we look through this, we can say the brain development during the early years, child's brain, is rapidly developing and forming connections. So this is the time you do the intervention. By intervening early, we can help shape these neural pathways, and also the in a way that promotes better development outcomes, and also preventing long-term challenges. Like early intervention can prevent developmental delays from becoming more pronounced as a
Yeah,
child grows, and reducing the need for more intensive intervention later on. Yeah, early
yeah,
steps always better. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So if you I'll put it in another way. If the parents decide they don't want to do early intervention, you'll see more regression in your child,
Mm,
especially when there's a window. Like when you start to see a regression in your child that points to a possible autism diagnosis, that's the best time to start the therapies, right within that window, before the age where the regression pretty much ceases. So if you get that early, if you get that intervention early, then the child can progress further. I think she froze. Just 1 minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. There's some kind of internet issue. I have full network, so I don't know exactly what happened, but something happened, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. Okay.
We were
Um,
talking about the early intervention.
yeah, about the delays. I don't remember what I was saying when the internet just decided to go out. Um, what developmental issues or developmental areas are most impacted by early intervention and how?
Early intervention has a profound impact on several key developmental areas. So these are often foundational skills that children need for further learning. So this is basically like we can focus on social interaction and also independence. The basic thing I would say, or basic areas I would say, is a communication, motor skill, social skill, cognitive skill, yeah, and also cognitive skill. So if you look at the communication, early intervention, in speech and language help children to develop essential communication skill, like let them enabling them to express themselves, understand others, and also engage in social interactions. This is crucial for academic and also the social success. So if you look at motor skills, fine motor skills like gripping a pencil or using a scissors, and gross motor skill like walking, running, and jumping, yeah, are critical for both everyday tasks and also the school activities. Yeah, therapy in this area help children build the strength, coordination, and also the independence. For social skill, I would say early intervention help children develop social behavior like making eye contact and taking turns and understanding social cues. These skills are the key for making friends and succeeding and also succeeding in group activities. For cognitive skills, early intervention programs often include strategies to help children develop problem solving skill, attention, memory, and other cognitive functions that are critical for academic performance.
Okay, are we here? Is everybody there? I changed I changed it to my telephone.
Okay.
We'll see if that works. But now I have to hold my phone. Okay. Let me see. I don't know why my computer is not. I mean, it shows it's fully connected, full bars, but I don't know what's going on with it. Okay. How does early intervention influence a child's future academic and social abilities?
By addressing developmental delays early, children develop the skills needed to meet the demands of school and also the social environment. I will say this. So for early intervention, I mean, with the help of early intervention, it will be helpful or helps children build a strong foundation for later success in academic, social interaction, and also emotional regulation. So this one basically
Yeah.
to let them for academic readiness, social integration,
Hmm.
and also emotional regulation.
Okay. Yeah, I agree that it 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 helps when a child gets older and they're going into the school system and stuff. They'll see, they don't need as much as support as they did when they were younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Can early intervention reduce the need of support as the child grows older?
I would say yes. One of the key benefits of early intervention is ability to mitigate the severity of developmental delays and potentially reduce the need for long-term specialized support. So early intervention focuses on building skills and addressing challenges before they become, ingrained, which can help children catch up with their peers. So I would say this in the other way around is also reducing severity in delays, increasing independence, and also prevention of secondary issues,
Yeah,
struggle
yeah.
with unmet
And
developmental needs. Mm.
I think you see a big difference in kids that have gone through earlier interventions and those that don't haven't. Especially within social skills, maybe speech and language and fine motor skills. Are you there?
Yeah,
Oh God, this
yeah.
internet
I think
today.
the internet a
O-
bit lagging.
Okay, I think we're going to seem to be. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I think we're going to end it today because we're having some kind of connection issues. So I'm not sure which side it's on, but we're both having. We seem to be going out both. So we'll come back another day and complete our live because the internet is going in and out. So we'll try to come back another time when the internet is more stable.
More stable. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. See you all again for another
Yeah,
live.
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
And
joining us.
we will try to do it another day where the internet is more stable.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us today.